Welcome back, brothers and sisters of Christ. My name is Brianna and I'm back with another video. And for today's video is you completed the Bible, now what? So I started reading the Bible from like beginning to end, Genesis to Revelation, front to back, September 30th, 2025, which is I think the same day I posted my video. But I remember like I used to read the Bible and I used to like skip around and I used to go to like stuff that would make me feel comfortable, like, the things that I'm feeling if I'm worried, different stuff like that, or something I wanted to know about. But I remember one day the Lord was like, you need to read the Bible from front to back, from Genesis to Revelations. And I also got tired of not knowing what was going on and, like not knowing the context behind things and just flipping through the pages. And I'm like, I want to know the story. You know what I'm saying? I want to know everything that's going on from front to back. I want to know God. I want to know it all. So yes, I started reading the Bible from the beginning to the end. And, which made sense because, obviously the Lord has me like spreading the gospel and speaking the gospel. And when you're spreading the gospel and speaking the gospel, you have to be in your word, because if you're not in your word, you don't know what you're talking about. So it made sense that he wanted me to read from the beginning to the end. I was tired of being confused as well. Like, I used to be confused. I wanted to know the characters. Like, I just wanted to know it all. But it's so funny because I remember before I surrendered to the Lord, I always knew that I would finish the Bible from front to back. Like, and I always knew that I was going to be close to him. I've seen both of my grandparents being faithful to the Lord, and it was something that I always knew I would do. But I honestly thought that I would be much older. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that I was gonna surrender my life to the Lord when I was in my 50s or 60s. Like, that's all I saw and knew was like older people giving their lives to God. So like, I thought I would be older. And I thought I was gonna be older when I finished the Bible. But apparently God had other plans. You know what I'm saying? And then I thought it was gonna take me several years to finish the Bible. It only took me a little bit over a year to finish the Bible, because I finished reading the entire Bible October 15th, 2025. I believe it's the 19th, if I'm not mistaken, today. And I started September 30th. I don't know why I thought it was going to take several years. You know what I mean? But, it was always a goal of mine to finish the Bible. Like, since I was younger. Like, I knew that's something I wanted to do. But yeah, I read it from cover to cover, beginning to end, Genesis to Revelation, front to back. And, the thing about it is, though, the Bible is not that long, but it is, like, if that makes sense. Like, there's books that's bigger than the Bible, but at the same time, like, the Bible seems very, very long. And, but I think it's because, if we're being honest, it's easy to get distracted from reading the Bible, because some chapters are, like, super long, some chapters are repetitive, and, some is just not as attention-keeping as other chapters, you know what I'm saying? Like, Psalms is over 100 chapters, but it's some long chapters in there, right? But sometimes I would take a break and get back to it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't go too long without reading my Bible, because I would feel off and I would start like, I need my word. And also, if it went too long, the Lord would nudge me like, okay, it's time to get back to it. Like, you had your little break, it's time to get back to it. So baby, I pushed through. Like, I pushed through to finish my word. And I also disciplined myself. I would say it also takes self-control and self-discipline, because I remember before I started reading the Bible, there was like books that I wanted to read that I was seeing, like the Awe of God, like just different types of books. But I held off on reading those books so I can finish the Bible, because I did not want to get distracted. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get too invested in TV shows, although I don't really watch TV even now, to be honest. But here and there, like, I want to find like a little good series to watch, but I limited that so that I wouldn't get away from reading my word. There was also a period of time that I wasn't talking to anyone much, because I was spending hours reading my Bible and taking notes and writing topics and talking to God. I spent a lot of time in my word. A lot. Like, really, especially in the beginning, like, because I was hooked too. I was hooked in the beginning. Like, it was tea. The whole Bible was tea, but I couldn't stop reading in the beginning. But baby, I had locked in. Like, I was locked into reading my word. I was determined to finish the word, and I was dedicated to finishing it. And not just to say that I did it, although it was a goal of mine, because when it was a goal of mine when I was younger, it was just like something like I felt like I wanted to do, needed to do, but I didn't really know the importance. But once I got older and started, when I started seeking the Lord, I'm like, I got to finish the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point, it's a purpose in me finishing the Bible, you know what I'm saying? I'm spreading the gospel. I need to know these things, I'm close to the Lord. So, when I got older, me completing the Bible, it wasn't just to say that I did it, you know what I'm saying? But it was to learn, it was to grow in wisdom, it was to know God more and his character, it was to know the whys, why this and why that, to get answers to those questions. It was to gain understanding, it was to be equipped, it was to gain strength, it was to be disciplined, it was to be able to spread the gospel, it was to build a relationship with the Lord, and so much more. You know what I mean? A lot of things come with reading the word, and I understand that now as an adult. Now, do I remember every single thing that I read in the Bible? Absolutely not. Okay? Do I understand every single thing I read in the Bible? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to retain all that information the first time you read it. And probably not even the second time or the third. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to ever be able to retain every single thing. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, we will probably never retain all that information if we're being quite honest. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of information that we can retain, but I just don't think that we're gonna retain all that, because the Bible is like one of those things you can read it 100 times and you're gonna get new things and new revelation, because the word is alive, baby. But some things I don't remember from the top of my head, but if somebody start like talking about it, then I'll remember it. And then some things I don't quite remember at all, and some things I do remember like off the top of my head. So like I said, you can read the Bible a million times and notice something new every time. You can gain new understanding each time you read the Bible. So with that being said, I do plan on reading the Bible all over again one day. Multiple times, honestly. But right now, the Lord has me focusing on what he wants me to read. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be like, I'm just going to let him give me something like what he wants me to read for today. Also studying my topic. So I'll be like, whatever topic I'm talking about, I'm going to be digging into the word in regards to that topic, which I already do, but you know what I mean? Focus on that for the week or something. I'm going to actually reread chapters that I didn't quite remember or understand, because I will be honest, there's quite a few that I'm like, what happened in that book? Because I can't really remember it. But if I start reading it, it might click. But, and, I was reading the NIV version when I read the Bible, because I initially had a King James version. Okay, and if you anything like me, I did not understand what was going on in the King James version. I was just getting close to the Lord, so all of this was like a foreign language. So and initially I was a little intimidated, and I had got to a point I was like, I'm not about to let that make me not read the Bible at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a Bible that's suitable for me. So I ended up finding the NIV version while I was reading it on my phone. I'm like, this is the one that I like, and I'm went to go buy a hard copy, because I don't know, I have to read hard copies. I don't like reading the Bible on my phone. It's just not the same. It's just, I don't know. So I read the NIV version when I completed the Bible, because that's the one that I understand the most. So you have to find the one that you understand the most, so you can retain the information and gain understanding. But now, since I have more understanding, more knowledge, more wisdom from the Lord, the next time I read the Bible from front to back, I will be reading the King James version. I'm actually super excited about that. And I don't know when that will be, just whenever God tells me like it's time to read the Bible again from front to back, I'm just gonna let him give me that cue. Now, some people, once they complete the Bible, they feel like that's it. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they don't need to read it anymore. That's it. I seen what I need to see. I read what I need to read. I know what I need to know. But the thing is, the Bible is our daily bread, and it's our weapon against the enemy. So we still need to read daily and get the word as much as we can. And then, you'll grow in wisdom the more you read it. Because like I said, we get new revelation each time. So if you just read the Bible one time and be like, okay, I read the Bible, like there's nothing else to it. No, you got to keep reading the Bible. When you feel down, you read the Bible. When you feel good, you read the Bible. If you worry, read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? He's going to give you new revelation. He's going to speak to you in new ways. Like, it's a daily thing. You know what I mean? It's just not like, even when you complete it, it's still important to keep reading it. So, I'm excited that I completed the Bible in my 20s. Although there's not an age limit and there's nothing wrong with completing the Bible above your 20s, but, it's just something that I'm excited about, because I always thought that I would be older completing the Bible, which it didn't matter, but it's just like a shock to me. Because, as I continue to study the word, I think of how more equipped I will be for every good work in my latter years. I'm like, if I completed the Bible in my 20s, and I feel like the Lord has gave me so much understanding, wisdom, and knowledge, I'm just like, girl, the next time you read the Bible, like by the time you in your 50s and your 60s and you don't read the Bible X amount of times, just imagine how much wisdom and knowledge you can have to spread the word of God. It's going to be second nature. It's going to come so easy to you. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, like I said, you're just going to be prepared for every good work. Like, anytime somebody asks you, you're going to know, like, what to say. And that's just a wonderful thing to think about. But you know, even now I gained so much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and also clarity after reading the Bible. It was very, completing the Bible was, it's just a very eye-opening and humbling experience. You know what I'm saying? I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about the Lord and the characters and Jesus and the world and how much the Bible relates to today's day and age. Baby, I learned so much about me. He done checked me. You know what I'm saying? I done broke down. I done smiled. He done reassured me. So many things and supernatural encounters and things have taken place since reading the Bible. Man. And I remember when God was telling me to do YouTube, and I was just like, Lord, I need to read the whole Bible before I can do YouTube. How can I get on here and do YouTube and I have not read the Bible from front to back? You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things about it is I'm scared too. I don't want to ever mislead anybody. I know that I am directly connected to the Lord and He speaks to me, He speaks through me, but I just be like, Lord, I wanted to know everything before I spoke. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want nothing to be incorrect. So, but He had let me know, you don't need to complete the Bible for you to speak, but I do need you to study and you will complete it later. You do need to do your research. You do need to study on these topics. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, there would be scriptures and stories that I would read and I would be like, I'd be like, I wish I would have read this before I made that video, because now I got a even greater understanding and now I got more examples of that topic, and also knowing the context of certain scriptures is helpful as well now that I have finished the whole entire Bible. Because it'd be sometimes I would use scripture, but I didn't know the context behind it, in which the scripture could still apply to the topic, but it would be much better if I knew the context. You know what I'm saying? But now that I have read the Bible all the way through, I know the context of the scriptures. So that is even better and even more helpful for me when I make my videos. So, what do you do after completing the Bible? You keep reading it. You keep reading the Bible. And you spread the knowledge of which you have learned from the Bible. You preach the gospel to all creation. That's it. That's what you do when you have completed the Bible. You continue to read the Bible so you can continue to grow in knowledge and continue to grow in wisdom, because it doesn't just stop at the first time you read the Bible. You will continue to learn. You will continue to grow the more you read the Bible. So continue reading your word, even when you're done reading your word. And it's so funny because I've been amped up to read still. Like, I finished the Bible and I'm like, I feel like reading the Bible, but I don't know yet where the Lord is taking me or what I want to really dig into and study. But I'm still like, I need the word. Like, I'm still ready to read. You know what I'm saying? And then all the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding that you have learned and gained from reading the entire Bible, you can go tell other people about it. Like, that's the joy in this. So now you're more equipped to tell other people. So go and preach the gospel to all creation. That is what you do after you have read and completed the Bible from front to back. And this is, and I didn't even put a time limit on it. When I came to the conclusion that I wanted to read the Bible from front to back, I was just like, I'm gonna do it. And I didn't know how long it was going to take. I just read as I read. But I was like, oh wow. And the year just went by so fast. Like, that's just crazy. But wow, it feels so good. Like, that's just an accomplishment of mine. Because I do also feel like, I didn't just read the Bible and finish it. I feel like I have something to show for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to spread what I've learned from reading the Bible, and I have changed since I have started reading the Bible. So the Bible is powerful, as we know and as we see in our everyday lives. But man, because a lot of people can read the Bible from front to back and still have no, understanding or knowledge, because a lot of people read the Bible for the wrong reasons, as I've mentioned before. So we have to make sure when we're reading the Bible that we are completely in it for the right reasons. Like, we want to know God, we want to know His word, we want to live right, and not for any of our selfish desires and stuff. Because that really plays a difference in how you take in the word and how it's received and what you learn and stuff like that, and what it does for you. But yes, so keep reading. Keep reading when you complete the Bible. But if this word is not for you, it's for somebody else. Remember, I'm telling y'all this because I love y'all.